Gentlemen, welcome. In this video I'm going to talk about 5 main reasons men over the age of 40 struggle to get unbelievable results in the gym. But before I get into it, those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Paul Green. I'm an online coach. I run the Longevity Program, which is a strength and conditioning service focused specifically on men over the age of 40. In a past life I was a paratrooper and a special forces support group operator, and in my time I've trained thousands of elite men across defence, including the IRF, the Royal Marines and the Parachute Regiment. Where I enjoyed training people the most was when I was training men leaders, men over the age of 40, men over the age of 50. Those with extreme pressure, extreme responsibility on their shoulders. Regardless of age, they have to work at a higher level. They have to problem solve at a higher level. And with that expectation, with that responsibility, they need to be at a higher physical capability than their younger counterparts, which is really interesting. So I have a unique perspective on all these matters, but now, yeah, I train men over the age of 40 online, Longevity Program, the links are in my channel and all that good stuff, if you are interested. So yeah, I have a unique perspective on all these matters. Hopefully you appreciate them. If you don't, you'll probably see me anywhere gobbling off about this type of stuff in the future, because, you know, this is me now. Absolutely love doing this type of content. Right, straight into it. First thing, the first reason men over 40 really struggle to make consistent improvements in the gym is because they don't believe that they can achieve immense things with their body. And this is this links in with like self-belief, like low confidence. It's kind of like that. But let me say, how do I explain this? If I explained it like, you are currently 95 kilograms, and before you go on holiday, you eat healthy, and you go on holiday and you weigh 90 kilograms before you go on holiday, and you look at yourself on holiday, and you look at the picture of yourself on holiday, and you're like, yeah, I look alright, you know, not too fat, blah 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 blah. So for the past decade, you have only ever seen yourself at 90 kilograms before a holiday. You know, you've never seen what it feels like. You've never seen yourself actually being, you know, an advanced version of yourself at like 85, or a 90 kilogram version where you are so strong, so athletic. You can sprint, you can jump, you can change direction. You've never seen it, so it's extremely difficult for you to comprehend going way beyond what you've ever experienced in the past decade. But, so that's like, it's like an emotional thing, right? When you've got a specialist in your back pocket or on your shoulder working with you every single day, and he tells you, if you follow this process, if you follow this process, you will get there. But when you start surpassing the physical capabilities in which you've only ever seen yourself at, like a few times, it's very easy for you to fall back onto that little comfort blanket and be like, ooh, I'm actually way big. It's easy for you to fall back. What I'm saying is, think about the future you, right? Think about how you see yourself in the next 12 weeks, how you see yourself in the next 16 weeks. And what would that person do? What would the future me do? What would the future me be lifting? What would the future me, how would he be sprinting up a hill with his kids? Do you know what I mean? And having that in your head, instead of thinking about the past you, oh, the past me looked like this before holiday, that's actually kind of alright. No. Think about the future you and how the future you would perform. Look forward, not back. Because trust me, if you get a good coach, you will achieve way beyond anything that you've ever seen from yourself. So yeah, you're blessed at the moment. There's a lot of good coaches online. happy days. You're in an amazing position to absorb this type of luxury. And I'm absorbing it as well. I've got one of the best coaches in the world. He's unbelievable. Anyway, that's the first point. So that's kind of like, it's how you view yourself and the limitation you place on yourself physically, because you being at the top, your top, you being top level, you being athletic is actually quite a low standard in the grand scheme of things. So I challenge you to not do that and just trust the process. Second thing, third thing and fourth thing, all link into the way you execute and perform movements in the gym. So number 2, the next thing I see very common in men over the age of 40 is their execution in the gym is poor. One thing they do a lot of is they don't push their joints through a full range of motion. And the reason pushing your joints through a full range of motion is extremely important is if you do not allow your muscles to work when your joint is fully extended, then muscles won't work. If you don't use them, you will lose them. Do you know what I mean? So getting into the deeper ranges of motion, I know you're getting old, but still, these joints need to be trained. These muscles that surround the joints need to be trained. If you don't train them, if you only do a third of a squat or a half squat, there's a lot of your quad that is not getting trained. And funnily enough, they're the parts of your quad that surround the knee. Don't train it, lose it. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's a hesitance to training at a full range of motion. Also, just a tiny thing that I've noticed is just a lack of understanding about how the muscles work, like muscle fibers, the direction in which people should execute a movement, and just a basic understanding of how the joints work. So yeah, execution, a reluctance or a hesitance towards training at a full range of motion with load, and a lack of understanding on how the muscle fibers work in allowing the joints to be strengthened optimally. Third thing, there is not many men over the age of 40 that are training with proper tempo. And what I mean by that is there is 3 muscle contractions. We have the concentric, which is the shortening of the muscle. We have the eccentric, which is the lengthening part of the muscle, when we lengthen the targeted muscle. And we have isometric, which is when the muscle stays contracted at the same length. We gain the most strength and the most muscle size from the eccentric part of the rep. Now, how many men over the age of 40 prioritize the eccentric part of the repetition? Not many. So how do we solve this? Simply by going 1, 2, 3 on the way down. That will ensure we double the amount of strength and we double the amount of muscle mass that we get. And another added benefit, we actually are more sensible with the training of the joints through the full range of motion because we have more control. We get a hell of a lot more from the movement. Safer, more muscle mass, more strength by prioritizing the eccentric. Yes, we still do the isometric hold at the bottom and then we still go up. So we still get about 5 seconds per rep. So that's the third thing, tempo. Number 4, intensity. Men over the age of 40 fall into the trap of not training hard enough. And I don't know why. Maybe self-belief, maybe they think they are going to injure themselves. They've lost confidence, and I don't blame them over decades of being out of the gym. They don't train to failure very often. They really don't like it. I don't know why. If you are over the age of 40, message in the comments to the reasons why you train at 60% intensity, why you favour light weights and more repetitions. I don't know the answer. It's just an observation that I've noticed through coaching people, men over 40, on my longevity program. So intensity, training every set, every working set in the gym to 90 and 95% intensity. And how do you guarantee it's 95% intensity? Well, it has to be very close to failure. And if you tip over to failure, that's fine. As long as the movements you're doing are extremely safe. And it allows safety when you fail. For example, a back squat to failure wouldn't be safe unless you had safety bars to drop the barbell on. Do you know what I mean? What's the last thing? That is self-belief, how you view yourself, having a limit on your potential. The first thing. We have the next one, which is execution in the gym. The next one, tempo. Number 4, intensity. And number 5, emotional meal planning. Eating food because that's what you feel like eating. Eating food because that's what the kids are having. Eating food because the missus cooked you it. Typically, men over the age of 40, when they go on a little bit of a diet, they massively undercut the amount of energy that they should be consuming. And I have no idea why. And what happens is 2 or 3 weeks of, I don't know, maybe drop 3 kilos, 4 kilos, but it's unsustainable. Headaches come in, poor energy, constantly hungry. You've lost a lot of weight. You look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, nah, it's unsustainable. Effective meal planning is extremely logical. You eat the most amount of food possible to ensure that you can perform in the gym to a high standard and achieve execution, intensity, tempo. But also, you need to be able to function during the day. You need to be able to walk, be active, conduct your jobs, be a family man, be a dad, be a good husband. All of these things, and you have to do them to a reasonable standard without being hungry and deprived. Do you know what I mean? While still having a bit of a life. So the main thing I mean by emotional meal planning is just not preparing, not having a plan, not having a logical plan that ensures that you are eating the most amount of food possible to achieve your goals. Just being sensible, being logical. Gentlemen, that concludes this short video. 5 things which I see men over the age of 40 falling short of, which has a massive detrimental effect to their results in the gym. First thing, having a very low bar on what you consider to be an awesome achievement for yourself. Second thing, execution of gym-based movements, in particular a hesitance towards entering full range of motion resistance training. Third thing, the tempo of your repetitions, not prioritizing the most important muscle contraction, which is the eccentric part. Fourth thing, the intensity in which you train at, a hesitance towards training fucking hard. Fifth thing, emotional eating. Gentlemen, short one for me today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. No presentation, no lectures, just me talking to you. Hopefully you appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.